Hello fun friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hey, I'm Savannah. Today I am doing a classic YouTube video. It is a get ready with me. I'm doing my summer makeup. It is rosy, glowy, bronzed, sun-kissed, and pretty simple. And I'm also gonna be chatting through my thoughts, my true feelings on living out of Airbnbs. Thus far, 8 weeks in, let's do it. Let's start first with this moisturizer. This is the one I've talked about in other videos. It's super simple, super cheap. I mean, it's like $13 now, not that cheap, but it's the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream Unscented. So I'm gonna get a considerable amount of that. I really like doing everything quick. I know I lose product, but I just put it on my palms or all over my fingers and just pretty much put it on really quickly. I'm a new mom. I have an almost 2-year-old son, so I'm doing my makeup and skincare at like hyper speed. Oh my gosh, I love moisturizer. And really moisturizer is like my only skincare step other than sunscreen. And I'm currently using this Super Goop sunscreen. It's the first time I splurged and got it. Yes, it is wonderful, it's fantastic, but this is just not worth the money to me, especially because I just used the Trader Joe's dupe. My sister-in-law was just in town and let me try hers. This is a little bit softer, more satin. The other one's not as fancy feeling, but I would say they're like 90–95% the same. I don't like feeling too precious about products that I have in my bag, like I can't use them or something. I'd rather just slap it on. Again, I do things really quick, but this does smell good. But yeah, this pills for me, and my 2 requirements personally for sunscreen is having no pilling under the makeup, you know, little pieces rolling off. And the other one is just sensitivity to my eyes. My eyes get really red and water easily. I will say it's 10 out of 10 as far as like your eyes being unbothered. You can just rub it right on them like this. Okay, we are moisturized, we are protected from the sun. That's what I do for my daily skincare. Next, I'm going to apply some concealer. This is a new concealer for me. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. It's in the color Fair Warm. And you guys, it's really liquidy for me. I think I like more of a balmy concealer. It has this really big wand. Put a little here, under the eyes, a little bit here, and then I have a blemish here, acne scar, another little acne scar, and then I'll add some here. And if I want to go crazy for a little more full coverage, I'll put a little bit on my cheeks. And I use my fingers for everything. I'm not planning to have it cover all of my face, just kind of like the red spots and a little bit darker spots there. So under my eye, bring it up a little bit. I like to put on the concealer right as I am finishing up my face makeup, skincare, because I feel like it really spreads out easily and blends in. If I wait, it's like a freaking nightmare. I like to let the concealer sit on my acne scars a teeny bit longer. Yeah, I'm feeling the pilling of the unseen sunscreen on my fingers a little bit. It's very subtle, but I'm feeling the makeup roll off. And then I'll just kind of like tap on my acne scar. Same with this one up here. I just don't have the expectation for them to vanish completely. I kind of accept my acne scars as part of my face. Plus also this one I don't cover that much because I usually have little bangs just like swirl about. That's the best part of bangs, covering up blemishes. Okay, I'm concealed. I'm feeling good about this glowy, hydrated concealer look. And honestly, it took me a very long time to get to this point in my life where I felt good about just like baring my skin. Like, what is this? An acne commercial? But seriously, I used to have so much acne, red marks, nothing super severe, but it was something that really bothered me. And therefore I always wore a full face of foundation every single day without fail. And the thing for me that made the biggest change, I just wanted to share in case one of you guys haven't tried this yet, because it was the thing that absolutely changed my skin. It was simply that I stopped touching my face. I was like the most chronic face toucher. I was always just like picking and prodding and scanning, especially when I was driving or at my desk at work. And I was just making everything way worse. I would not leave my pimples alone. And then I was creating new ones by pressing all this like dirt and sweat and things back into my pores. And then when I challenged myself to actually just stop touching my face, my skin completely changed. And I will say, having much clearer skin, not having to wear all this makeup, my skin stays nicer because I don't have so many products on it. I'm not trying all these different miracle acne treatments, different makeups to hide it. So that's That's my little journey there. I've been wanting to share that because I feel like skin is like the biggest part of makeup, at least for me. So let's do blush next now that I have concealer on, and let's talk about living in Airbnb. So I'm using this Honest blush. This is new. It's the lip and cheek color in rose pink. I love the color for my cheeks, but it is such an LOL that this is marketed as a lip product. I feel like this is like red carpet 2003 Jessica Alba lips, and it's just not it for me. It's a really nice balmy consistency, but for me, it's just a one-use product. So I don't know if it's really worth the money, but this is the blush. So yes, our Airbnb journey. We're in Idaho now. We were in Montana last. We've lived in Bozeman. We lived in Bozeman for 5 weeks, and we are now in Boise, Idaho. And it's pronounced Boise with a soft S, not with like a Z sound. Never knew that. Growing up in Washington, I guess we were just all saying it wrong. And I'm just bringing like the blush up here because someone said that once and I think it looks cute. And I like to do a lot of blush. I love the YouTuber Whitney Simmons. She's seriously so funny. She does like workout stuff, but I just watch her to listen to her talk because she cracks me up. Anyway, she always talks about being a blushaholic and being unapologetic about her crazy amount of blush usage. So I like to put some on my nose too, a little bit on my chin down here. I like to look sunburnt and sun-kissed. I'm gonna put a little bit on my forehead. Boom, bam. Okay, cute. Okay, back to Airbnbs. So if you haven't heard, like it's worldwide news, pressing breaking news. No, but if you haven't watched the channel before, my husband and I are in search of finding, this is the hard part, you guys. What do I do? I just like have it be a donut and then I tap over it at the very end. But my husband and I are looking to find like our dream place to live, essentially here in the US. My husband's from California. I'm from Washington State. We've lived in California together for the last decade. It's been a blast. We've loved it, but we're looking to just change it up and we're wanting to move to a mountain town, kind of more with a slower pace of life, in a small city or just like a bigger town that has a lot of character, somewhere that's charming and super safe to raise our family. So we just have one kid now. He is almost 2 years old. He's the cutest thing that's ever walked the planet. And so yeah, our lives revolve around him. And I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, if you didn't know. And my husband actually started a new job in January, which was the catalyst for us to hit the road and try these new places. So we're spending 5 weeks in each location. And the goal is basically just to see what life is like there, meet as many people as we can, try as many new things there, go to the parks, go to the restaurants, go to the grocery stores, check out different neighborhoods, see if there are houses that fit our budget. So that's what we've been up to, and Bozeman was the first stop. And you guys, I have been so surprised by both stops on this trip. Like, I am not even kidding. I thought I knew what I was getting into, but these cities are so different than I thought, which is interesting because you think you know just based off reading different things, maybe visiting once, but man, you gotta go for yourself. I feel like so many people we've talked to have so many opinions about different places, what's good about them, what sucks about them. But you know, you only know what's good for yourself, what's good for your family. So I am just really digging this whole experience. I feel like it is so important and useful, and I'm really, really happy we're doing it. So let me start with Bozeman and let me do the next makeup step. Oh, this is a scary step, you guys. Okay, so I recently got this Wet n Wild cream eyeshadow. It's called the Shadow Silk and it's in the color, I don't really know the name, but it's like the rose gold one. I'm just not good with makeup, you guys. Like, this is hard to use, and I felt like the color is more bronze than I expected for my eyes. So I'm trying to kind of use it as a bronzer as well because I don't have a bronzer right now, and I forgot that I do like bronzer. So I'm gonna do a little more on the forehead, a little on the cheeks. I think it's probably better as a highlighter, but I don't get highlighter. So I'm gonna do eyes, forehead, cheeks, and not talk for a second because it dries really fast and I'm not super skilled. And again, I use my hands for everything because I like things just smudgy and messy, and imperfect works for me. So I'm gonna, oh God, this is what I'm talking about. I'm doing like multiple fingers, like not recommended by any makeup artist, but for me, it's what works. And I'm just kind of like blending it up into my hairline. My face is super moisturized, so it's blending out. Ooh, cute. And then let's put a little on the cheeks. I don't know exactly where this goes. I think it's like between a contour. I'm just putting it kind of like along my blush, a little swoosh. And then rubbing it kind of up and in. Accentuate the cheekbones, you feel me? And then kind of rub it out. I don't care if my makeup looks really good as long as it doesn't look bad is kind of where I stand with makeup. If it looks okay from 10 feet away in the mirror, I'm good with it. And then maybe a tiny dab on the nose. Boop, boop. I'm all about the cute nose, you guys. Maybe you are too, maybe you're not. I'm loving the little sun-kissed look. Again, the surfer girl thing is kind of my thing. I don't surf, but I like the look. Back to the trip. So Bozeman, you guys. Bozeman is incredible. It's a really cool city. It is booming. There's a very cute downtown main street. There's some really nice old houses surrounding the main downtown. But all in all, it's a lot of new buildings, new restaurants, new stores, and there's a lot of people and more traffic than we expected. I thought it was gonna be a bit more quaint. We wanna visit during summer and see how it is because there's this huge influx of people, tourism during the summer. It's also supposed to be the best time of year in Bozeman, so we're actually gonna go back and see because we have this amazing deal on the Airbnb, and we're not in a huge rush to be done with this trip, which is interesting because I thought at this point, like 2 months in, I was gonna know in my heart whether or not I was gonna be ready to move back into a long-term rental or into a house to buy a house. And at this point, I can say, I don't feel like that at all. We have not even turned our heads back on our former life in the Bay Area. The Bay is beautiful, but we are just wanting something new. And it feels like every stop along this journey, every new Airbnb rental is just one step closer to like fulfilling our destiny. I feel like I'm on the Oregon Trail, man, like Lewis and Clark just blazing, and we're having so much fun. My husband and I keep just looking over at each other and we're like, I cannot believe we're doing this. Like, this is so fun. So that was Bozeman, and then we drove through the Sawtooth Mountains to get here to Boise. I should move on to the next part of my face. This is the Wet n Wild Retractable Brow Pencil in taupe. I've been using this for a long time. I love it because it's easy and fast. I just fill in the front of my brow like this, kind of guide it through the middle because I don't have a ton of hairs going on. I'd like to say I overplucked in the 2000s, but I don't even know if that's true. Maybe they were never there to start. It's been a while. Then I just brush it out. It's a really thick tip on this one. It's kind of like a shadow, the idea of a brow versus like those thin hair-like strokes. I'm just not skilled enough to do that. So that's why I do this. And I especially like brush out the end because I actually don't really have much hair over there. And so it's the illusion, the, you know, framing the face, as the people say. Just brushing those suckers out even more so it's all diffused, flowing together. I definitely like that glowy, flowing makeup sliding into each other look. I've never lived in a super hot climate or super humid climate, so I don't do a ton of powder in setting. If you do, you probably do a bit more of that. So those are the eyebrows, and let me get to Boise next. First impressions of this place, I was shocked. It is so freaking nice here. Why doesn't everybody talk about Boise, Idaho? I'm sure they're not loving that I'm talking about it now with my big audience here on YouTube. But no, this city is so beautiful. I've lived in Sacramento. It reminds me of Sacramento. It's just a lot nicer. I mean, Sac is awesome, but this town is just spotless. It is so clean. It's sparkling. It is luscious. It's green. There is so much charm. The people are so friendly. This was the biggest surprise for me because out of all the cities that we're visiting, I'm not gonna lie, Boise was the one that I was like, oh, we'll see. Let's try it out. Let's give it a shot. And what do you know? The bottom of the list is now risen to the top. There's a beautiful river flowing through the entire city. The downtown is sparkling. It's so nice. There's like no traffic here. It is comical. Like, I cannot believe it. Coming from California, it's pretty just kind of quiet and quaint. And oh my gosh, the friendliness of the people. That is something that my husband and I are definitely looking for in our future city. California is incredible, but people there, similar to New York, they're just moving at a faster pace. People are generally more just kind of stressed out. And it's just been so nice just doing everyday things like going to the grocery store. I thought someone was cutting ahead of me to grab a shopping cart because that's what I'm used to. And someone was pulling one out for me and getting it ready for me and my son. It's just so nice. And Montana was the same way. So that's something we're looking for, just a place that moves a little slower so people have the time to be more cheerful, do more kind things for each other. So man, Boise has been so nice. And we went to the Bruneau Sand Dunes. We went up to McCall this past weekend over Memorial Day. It's a really gorgeous mountain town with this glacier lake. We took a boat out, did some cruising, stayed at a cabin up there, and it was just spectacular. Rave reviews about Idaho so far. Love the people, love the scenery. And oh yes, cost of living, I haven't even mentioned that. Boise is considerably cheaper than Bozeman. Bozeman is just blowing up right now. And like the houses there are crazy expensive. You're not getting as much for your money. So something to weigh in. We are looking to buy a home. Okay, let's keep going with makeup. Let's do mascara next. So I have my face done, I got the brows done. Let's do the eyelash curler. So this is one I got in my stocking a couple years ago, and I was a non-believer in the lash curling. Just one of my girlfriends once was like, well, look at the before and after on my lashes. Like, you guys can look right now. And I was like, shoot, man, I need to buy one. So I got one and I've been using it every day since. And then I use this Maybelline Snapscara in black. I like a mascara that's easy to wash off. That's the number one thing, and doesn't bleed. So this is one of those tubing ones. So I'm just gonna put the mascara on the lashes. I think that's how it works. And I'll usually do like 2 or 3 coats depending on how glam I want it to be. If I'm just like going out with my son to like story time at the library, it's a 1 coater. If it's like going out to dinner, it's like 2 coats, and then 3 coats if I'm going to the club, which I went out with my sister-in-law last week for like a girls' night out, and we went bar hopping, and it was very fun in downtown Boise. We're doing a 2 coats today. I feel like YouTube is dinner out glam. And by dinner out, I mean just pho at somewhere normal with my husband and son. Cool, those are the lashes. And then last we have lips. This is a product that I got like 2 months ago. And this is the only time I have ever completed a lipstick or lip gloss without losing it. And this is the only lip gloss I've ever liked. I believe there's something in most lip glosses that I must be allergic to, because I always feel like my throat tightens just ever so slightly. This is a lip oil. It's from Noonie. I did get it on Amazon. And man, you guys, I just love it. It feels like a lip gloss, but I mean, I can't even really testify to lip gloss. It feels like what I think a lip gloss feels like. It's like a lip oil that's kind of sticky. It's like a hybrid, I'd say, and it has a tint to it, like a pinkish red. It's called Appleberry. That's what it looks like on my lips. So I use that. That's kind of like the simple look. And then I like to layer on top this Sephora lipstick. It is a red color. It's called A Little Magic number 22. I'll just kind of like tap it on top of the lip oil and then rub it out. And I think I want more. I like doing kind of a bolder lip with just like a shimmering gold and pink on the face. I think it accents my hair color really well. My skin color is pretty warm toned, and I have like, you know, medium blue eyes. I think it looks good with making the different things pop. So this is the finished makeup look. It's a summer sun-kissed minimalist-ish look. Yeah, that's it. That's how I'm doing my makeup recently. I hope it was fun for you guys to see. Fun to hear about living in Airbnbs. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below. I mean, honestly, I have not missed anything as far as physical items. My wardrobe, I feel like I could go even smaller on my closet. It's fun just only keeping what fits in the car. And then as far as budget goes, maybe you guys are wondering about that. We're honestly spending about exactly the same as what we did in the Bay Area. When everything shakes out, I think we're spending a couple $100s a month more on the Airbnbs with like rent, utilities, internet, etc. But we're not taking as many vacations. We're big vacation trip people. We do a lot of like little weekend trips with hotels, flights, like popping over to Tahoe, going to Seattle to see my family, going to LA to see my husband's family. And we're just not doing that as much because we're on this bigger trip. So I think when everything shakes out, factoring in vacation costs that we usually spend, I think it's pretty much a wash. I mean, the houses have been pretty good. Every house is a little bit different. We've stayed in 2, but we've been in 5, like stayed long-term in 2 and stayed in 5 total. The one up in McCall was kind of like more of this modern cabin, super nice. We stayed in this kind of older, smaller home in North Boise before we got into this house here. And this is kind of a standard middle of the road build. It's not super fancy. Everything's builder grade, but it's in a really safe, cute neighborhood. And then the Bozeman house was kind of a bigger house. One thing is I am learning so much about what I want in a house. Same with my husband. We're just chatting all the time like, dang, having those high ceilings in the Bozeman house, that was super nice. Like that's something we would want to prioritize. Both of us are really tall and these ceilings are just, they're regular, but they feel like such shorties. And then like appliances, seeing what refrigerators we like, which washer and dryer, what kind of different finishes, what kind of different yards, different lot sizes, the floor plan of the house, we're learning a lot there. It's just so much fun. And then I think the best part is just meeting people. There are so many cool people in Montana and Idaho. Of course, in California, the people are amazing too. It's just nice to know that we could make friends anywhere. We've made friends with the neighbors here down the street through someone I met in Bozeman, and they've had us over for Mother's Day. We had them over here for a party. These are people we met 3 weeks ago. I met this woman at the hot springs, and she was really cool, homeschools her kids, lives on this farm, just like a totally different life than ours. So it's been amazing just to meet these new people, and they are so kind. It's very, very heartwarming and special to see. So no matter where we end up, I know we're just gonna meet the best friends and have this support system for us to, you know, have our life and our community there. So there's not much that we're missing. These Airbnbs are fully stocked when it comes to actually like using things. I think there's maybe been a couple things that we've missed, but I just went and got them from the thrift store and then donated them back. So it's like a little donation. And then we've just been borrowing from the friends that we've made. Like I don't have a beach umbrella. It's super sunny right now. I want to take my son to the lake. So our neighbors, I asked if they had a beach umbrella. They just like left one on our front porch. You guys, borrowing is the best. I think the main thing is just I don't miss having like a home, and I'm such a settled in home type person that I thought I would really miss that, but I'm actually loving kind of just being in this exploration phase. One of my favorite movie quotes of all time, this is like very corny, but it's from When Harry Met Sally, and it's actually about like love and finding your partner, but I feel like it applies to this as well. But basically when Harry realizes he's in love with Sally and goes and meets her at the New Year's Eve party, he says, when you realize you've found like the love of your life, you want the rest of your life to begin as soon as possible. I like get choked up from that quote, but that's how I feel like meeting my husband, having our family, and finding this place. I want like my life to begin as soon as possible, and it is, and we're in the present, I'm living it, but I just like feel like grabbing, you know, life by the reins, the horns, the bull by the horns, and just going for it. And it truly feels like we are living. So really proud of my husband and I for getting after it and doing this, and not just like staying in the comfort of our old life, because it has been uncomfortable, you know, long car rides with a little one, and just not having our home base, having to forward mail, all those things. As I say them out loud, they're not a big deal, but change is hard. So that's the deal, you guys. And thanks for voting for this video if you voted for it in my poll on like my community tab. And if you voted for the toddler clothing declutter, man, I still need to declutter. So I'm gonna be decluttering my son's little clothes. I love little toddler boy clothes. They're so stinking cute. So I'll just chat through like tips with that as far as how I decide what to keep, what goes, gifts from family, things that are staying, and how I make decisions there. Yeah, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I love you all so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you've listened to this far, wow, thank you. Subscribe. Would love to have you here, part of the family of all of you fun friends. I'll catch you in my video next week. Bye, you guys.